So congratulations, having read the minutes, I just want to thank you all, and we have completed successfully the 2025 scholarship season, correct? That
Yes.
all went well. So round of applause to everybody, okay? And unless there's anything else to add to that, on to the director's report.
Okay, sorry. Director's report for August 2025. 0 curbside pickups, 341 patrons, still no students, even though school just started there. We usually do that at the end of September, beginning of October. Storytime attendees, we had 93 adults, 136 children, for a total attendees number of 229 for August. And we had 7 events. For Dungeons and Dragons, 2 events with 9 attendees. Volunteers, we have 2 with 7 visits and a total of 21 hours for the month. This includes 1 senior for the town's work-off program. Not Just Knitting had 2 events with 6 attendees. Senior Book Club had 5 attendees. The regular book club, to be named in some future moment, 8 attendees. Boy Scouts have not contacted us, so I don't know if that's going to continue or not. We had no other meetings in the library. We had 2 new cards issued, including 1 e-card. And for Facebook and Instagram totals, we had Facebook page reach of August 3,309. Facebook total like pages in August. Take that with a grain of, oh, I'm sorry, it's the, there's another page in here that it's that one. I could not find the page likes in my Meta business suite. I don't know where it is, so 391 is what was last year, so take that with a grain of salt. Page followers for August was 1,079. Facebook page visits was 712. Facebook views, this is new, was 18,227. And what that is we had 57.1% followers seeing our stuff on their feed, and we had 42.9% non-followers seeing our stuff on their feed. So they're not going to our page, but it's showing up on their Facebook feeds as they go through stuff.
So followers and
Yeah, so
Non-followers.
if you break it down, and if you look at the report, I broke it down, it's 57.1% followers, 42.9% non-followers.
so they're seeing the library post without visiting the page.
Exactly.
Correct.
So for Instagram, page reach for August was 162. Instagram followers, we have 205. Instagram profile visits was 12 for the month of August. And for Instagram views, we had 565, which was 46.4% followers and 53.6 non-followers. Again, that is new, and I will update your chart on the Hub staff for that information. Our most popular Facebook post was, "Hi friends, the Malone Story Walk," with 1,939. And number 2 was from Miss Tricia, "Thank you Story Walk," with 1,814. For our Wi-Fi connections, we had 32. And for websites visits in August, we had 497. Our library numbers are: Hubbardston items circulated regardless of location, 988. All items circulated at Hubbardston regardless of ownership, 1,073. Requested holds in August was 187. Total number of patrons registered at Hubbardston, 1,496. Total number of items that we have in the library right now is 11,466. For Overdrive monthly checkouts, we had 852. For holds on Overdrive, we had 154 holds on e-audio with 238 holds on ebooks for a total of 392. The Senior Book Club met on Wednesday, August 27th, and discussed Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. The next Senior Book Club meeting will be held on September 24th at 11 a.m. at the Senior Center in the Slade Building at 7 Main Street, where they will discuss The Frozen River by Ariel Lawton. The August display in the Adult and Children's Room highlighted water and back to school. The September displays for both the Adult Reading Room and Children's Reading Room will be the trustee picks, respectively submitted by Christine Barbera, with a couple of caveats. The financial page is based on what I think we did. I still don't have the accountant numbers, so I keep hearing that we're going to get them, and we haven't yet. So The state account and the donation account are even, they're as accurate as I can make them. So please take them with a grain of salt. There may be an adjustment later on. But I did zero out the library assessment for Wendy Frontiero, so that will be going off the report next year. And the last two things was, one is the page visits report from the website, which tells you which pages were visited. Apparently there's a lot more activity, albeit it's only like 1 or 2 people showing up and checking out our new website, which I did tell people we have a new website. And the other report I saw, I thought you might be interested in, and if you want me to continue having this one, I'm happy to print it up. It tells you what your traffic acquisition is for the website. So direct is somebody typing in hubbardstonpubliclibrary.org and going right there. Organic search, referral, organic social, and unassigned, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm in the process of figuring that out. So this is how people are coming to see us. So
Feels like the organic search would be like a Google search, right?
doing the Google search
which
and
is
then
how I
clicking on
search.
it.
Yeah, like I search Hubbardston Public Library and then I find it.
Right.
And then the redirect would be if it was on the town website.
Okay.
And then somebody clicked on the link and took them to this website is what I think
Okay.
the breakdown.
And I'm guessing the social one, organic social, is maybe from like
Social
Facebook or
media, yeah.
Instagram or something. But if that's something that you guys are interested in, I'm happy to print that one up again too.
I think it's interesting to understand how people are being driven to the website. So I think there's value in it, but.
Yeah, but I throw a lot of stuff at you guys, hoping that it'll stick for what you want. And if I'm telling you things that you're not interested in, or you just want to have it put into the spreadsheet or whatever, I'm happy to keep reading more and more stuff to you guys. So.
Well, with the new website, I think it is helpful, you know.
So we know who's going where and
Yeah.
doing what. Okay. Excellent.
And over time, we may end up tracking. So having had the reports, we can in the future see, hey, we're getting more over time doing this. We may want to change our approach or congratulate and pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah. And Morgan, you talk a lot about search engine optimization, and so finding, if people are doing a search and finding our website, like it comes up on top, like that's a good thing. So,
Yes.
Cool.
Any discussion or other questions about director's report? Feedback?
All right, so if I'm all set, then you can shift gears over to Tricia and
Before
hear
we-
about the summer.
I just love the trustee picks, guys. Great job.
Yes.
Good books.
Oh,
I love
yes.
Stone Soup.
If you haven't
One of my
if
favorites.
you haven't made decisions about books that you would like to put up on our display in the adult reading room or in the children's reading room, send them to Anne and she will put them up. And please send more because people like them. They've already taken some off the shelf, so 1 or 2 is just not enough. We need a bunch.
Yeah,
So.
great job. Staff report.
All right. Summer program report. So Storytime was the most attended Storytime program to date. We had more special guests like the Hubbardston Fire Department, the Hubbardston Police Department, Sunflower Pastries, and Bill Shea with his Clever Girl. It's been 0 days since I brought something into the library that doesn't belong here. This year I really wanted to focus on outreach and collaboration with both local and police to help foster a relationship with the kids because they should recognize our first responders. That way maybe the next time they see them it may be a more stressful situation and these are going to be people that they recognize and not meet them for the first time in, car accident, house fire, that kind of thing. This summer, I felt that I was more successful from the outpouring support from the community. I asked for things and a small favor, and I got this huge, big, here you go, instead. So I'm already planning next year's summer reading program. I find that I've found a cute little community with a bunch of other Storytime leads, and we've already talked about throwing ideas out there. We're not waiting around for the theme to be picked. We've decided to go rogue, and we're going to be picking our own themes. So the total number of Storytime attendees was 448 over the entire summer, from the beginning of summer reading to right before back to school. The summer reading program was a big success this year. We had very few prizes left in the small prize bucket. They cleaned me out, and all large prizes were drawn for. Next year, I hope to expand the summer reading program, not only for our young ones, but I'm actually going to open it up and have a separate summer reading program for adults as well. So the total number of summer reading entries was 49. Last year was 44. This year was 49. So we're getting there. Dungeons and Dragons. This summer I had to say goodbye to a few of my teens. They are off to college. It was actually surprisingly a little emotional. And this means that we've had a full year of D&D because it started last August and I've come full circle. The program has come a long way. Many of my kids who started out not knowing how to play are now dungeon masters themselves and can take over for me, so I just sit and facilitate while they run the table. I always give them a little speech beforehand that just because I'm not sitting there, they need to show the same respect to the dungeon master if it was me sitting there. However, I'm requesting a small hiatus for the month of September from y'all. I would like, back to school is busy. Like all the teens are going back to their normal programs and sports and all that. So back to school is usually when I have small numbers anyway. So I'm asking for a small hiatus. I also want to revamp the program just a little bit, market it better and get more teens to the table. So that's that for Dungeons and Dragons. Storybook Walk. Holy moly, did that thing blow up bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I've already got the second story ready. I just have to have it printed and laminated and it'll be ready to go out. And then weather permitting, because Mother Nature can be rude in October. It could snow for all we know. I'm planning on pulling it mid-October and putting it out on Main Street right here with a Halloween story on it so that the kids can see it when they come trick-or-treating or they leave school or whatever, and then it'll be stored away for the winter time. I just have to find a place to store it. I did maybe sweet talk the DPW director into letting me borrow a Conex box down at the DPW to store it for the winter. If not, it'll live in my barn. Book club. We've had a large number of interest in a great group of club goers. We've read The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters and Verity by Colleen Hoover. We bring baked goods and mocktails, not cocktails, mocktails. And we're diving into Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas this month. And then the next, we are doing the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires for Ookie Spooky Month. We're leaning more into themes, so we're going to do themed food and maybe even costumes for book club. So, summer book club attendance was 36. Okay, here's where I come to you with crazy ideas. Are we ready? Struggling Readers Program. A lot of parents have come to me and asked me for one. They know it's a brainchild of mine. I have a struggling reader myself. I would like to invite therapy animals or animals that are learning to be therapy animals and other disinterested third parties. We feel the studies are there that if the kids are reading to someone who is patient or not judging them and they feel at ease, they're more likely to build their confidence in their reading skills. I'm going to open it up from K to middle school. And one of my storytime moms, believe it or not, found out about it, and this is what she did for a living before she became a stay-at-home mom, and she's already offered to help me work with some of the kids one-on-one to whether it be that they just don't have the confidence in their reading skills or there's another underlying problem of why they're struggling to read. ADA story time. I have to look into the specialized training that I might have to do it. I would like to invite friends that are maybe on the spectrum or can't handle the large crowds. I thought with back to school, my storytime crowd would be smaller. But boy, oh boy, did they prove me wrong this week. I had 39 people at storytime, and it's back to school, so some friends cannot handle a crowd as large as that. Especially because we've got kids that are not school age. We've got infants now, and they get upset and they can get loud, and sometimes that sends our friends who are on the spectrum into. So I'm dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so that might be coming. I'm thinking Thursday afternoons, 1 o'clock. It's quiet in here, and it's right before school pickup. So if they're off to pick up siblings, they're already right here.
you might want to look into what the senior schedule is.
Oh
'cause I
God,
think
Lord,
they do
Lord knows
cribbage.
that.
I think they do cribbage
Lord
at
knows.
12:30, just so you know.
Social media. I was hoping to get your blessing to jump into our social media and give it a good facelift, a boost, more fun things on social media. So maybe crazy history about the library that people wouldn't know, meet the librarians, just more of us out there now that I know that we're going to places on people's feeds that may not follow us. So that is what I want to do. And then I added 2 more things. I'm so sorry. Garden help. I'm looking for volunteers for garden help. The planter that's out towards the back ground floor door is being slowly taken over by weeds. And Travis said, grab a shovel, get them out of there before they become too unruly. And the same thing out front, if you notice the tree is growing back. I'm just one person. I don't know if I can battle a tree on my own. The hosta is slowly taking over. She's quite large and in charge, so we were hoping to revamp this fall to do some spring planting, so we have some nice stuff to come up in the spring, battle back the stuff that shouldn't be there, and just, you know, give some curb appeal to our sign to point out our hours even more. And then in the spring, we'll plant some more so that we have some summer color as it fades. And then me and Chris are going to be tabling at some events, so if you guys have anything that you would like us to make sure that we absolutely have on the table, please let us know. Chris is doing field day and open house. I will be away for both of those. They fall on a weekend wedding, so I will be doing None Such Fest and 48 Gardner Road open house and Taste of Hubbardston. It's the same place, same date, same time, which is October 2nd.
None Such Fest is October 2nd.
No, None Such Fest is October, I feel like it's like October 11th or 12th or something. It's somewhere in that range.
In October.
But no, Taste of Hubbardston is October 2nd.
And that's at 48 Gardner?
Mm-hmm. We're doing a 48 Gardner Road open house and Taste of Hubbardston all together. Because I'm crazy.
October 11th is.
None Such Fest, right?
Yeah.
I knew it was October 10th or 11th. I couldn't remember.
What day of the week is October 2nd?
October 2nd is a Thursday.
Thank you.
So that's also a trustee meeting.
Yeah.
Well, luckily it starts at 5 o'clock. So y'all can
There
hop
you
over
go.
and say hello, and then off you go to your trustee meeting. Grab some food, bounce in the bounce house.
Bounce first, eat after.
Yeah, bounce first, eat after. And then I have 2 updates for you from the town, as you asked me last trustee meeting to look into. Travis has Monty Tech coming to do some patch-up work at 48 Gardner Road. I do believe that it's involving moving a drop box to a more ADA accessible spot. He is going to get us a quote for the sidewalk outside to see how much it would cost for them to redo it. The broken up sidewalk that you guys discussed last time. It would be concrete to match, so it would flow up into the sidewalk here on Main Street.
So the sidewalk to this door and that door, or just to that door?
Just all of it.
Okay.
Any broken pavement, anything, they're gonna take a look to see how much it would be to, they would obviously, DPW would help demo, do all of that, but then Monty Tech would come in and pave it.
Great.
So he has that, and then you guys asked me about the insurance, about the black mold potentially being covered to be redone. I talked to the insurance, they said they're not absolutely 100% sure, but they gave me the loss notice to be filled out, and I can put it in, and the adjuster will get it, an adjuster will be assigned to it, and they would be better to tell us if it's covered underneath the policy or not. So I have that as well.
So you're going to submit the form, or we need to do that?
I can work with Chris to get it submitted, because obviously there's no mortgage on the library, so I will need that information. It's
So
pretty
I'm just
straightforward.
I'm not sure if, because you guys are the facilitators of the library, that
Yeah,
should
I
come
think
from
it
you
might
or
have to
not.
be.
If you need trustee into it, let me know especially, okay?
Yes.
Into, and going back to library staff report, I believe
Sorry.
it's more a Chris B matter with regards to hiatus. I don't think that's an issue, it's just a resolve with Chris. If we post notice of dates, so it could be me. Did we have it on the whiteboard?
We had it for a hot second on the sandwich board out there,
So
and
we-
we removed it. And I'm posting tonight that there is no D&D tomorrow. There's no D&D. Most of my kids already know because I talked to them
Exactly.
about it.
So
And
we
I
may want to reiterate too, and then when we do have October dates, say next D&D or
What I'm
D&D and do October dates.
hoping to do is with the new website is literally post an entire couple of months of D&D dates so that parents who are new to the program or kids that are interested in it know when the next one is.
And then always have the whole subject to weather and
Weather
change
and
to weather and other conditions.
weather conditions, building conditions, because
Yeah.
you know she likes to throw a fit every once in a while just to keep us on our toes.
Exactly.
So
And then likewise, I appreciate the request with regards to garden help and needs. I do not know with regards to timing, given the busy fall time, and or if trustees are able to help, or if we're able to pull other volunteers and things like that, question marks. If we wanted to dig up a hossa, I know that this season to like, if we wanted to dig it up and give it as a library gift to others to take, anything remaining will
right,
flourish in years to come.
right. It's just slowly taking over the
And then
whole section.
I don't know with regards to the tree, so I'm like nodding at you.
No.
I don't know what you mean.
So there used to be a tree there. We've cut it back several times. I think at this point we're gonna have to get stump killer and dose it so that it stops growing back. But the gentleman who was going to help me with the DPW, he does the cemeteries and stuff, he broke his ankle. So he's out. So Travis was gonna, once we cut it back, it's got some friends growing amongst it that everybody seems to be allergic to. So once that dies down, we will try to dig it up with poison oak is growing with it. So I want that out of there just for safety's sake.
I wouldn't share that.
One in the pit?
It's, so you know where the sign is?
Okay.
Right here? Oh yeah, the sumac, him and I are gonna have words in December. But the one where the sign is, I don't know what kind of tree it was. Was it a birch or, we don't know, but it like,
Sprouted.
yep, it sprouted from the stump and it's
It's a birch. There's a whole stand under the ground. That's how
right.
birch grows.
So, Travis is gonna help me dig it up
Never
once
get rid of that.
things start
Yeah.
dying. I don't want him to be covered in poison.
Nobody, yeah.
Nobody wants that.
All right. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes for August 7th? Were there any discussion items in regards to minutes from August 7th? It sounds like you guys had a great meeting.
We did miss you.
I missed you all, honestly.
You were on vacation. You were having fun.
I thought we were gonna have a slideshow of Switzerland tonight.
I thought my son, just quick side note, by day 2, I thought he was playing a joke. He was like, what happened? Like, I had something on my shirt and he normally does this. Like, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for it. And we're on top of a mountain. I looked, I had completely cracked my camera. And I was like,
During your trip?
yeah, like day 2 of actual adventures. And so I found a workaround. Even with that being said, there were over 6,000 photos. Wow. Of which nobody's going to want to see. But yeah. So, missed you all. Great minutes.
I
Great
do
meeting.
like the comment of action that was introduced this time. I think that was helpful when we review them before the next meeting.
Yeah, I had done that before and then I kind of forgot for some
Oh,
reason,
okay.
so I will try to remember to do that.
Thank you.
So would you, speaking of that, would you like the action items moved to and added to the agenda? Do you think that's necessary?
Well, your agenda's pretty detailed.
It's kind of detailed,
Um,
and we'll kind of play with that.
I think if something's still on there, then, oh, you mean like copy it, the actual thing?
If it's necessary. But I think it is as part of the approval of minutes. But if you guys feel so, or feel it becomes necessary, let me know.
I mean, it might be helpful, like when you do like a call for agenda, to be like, here are the action
Reminder.
items from
Yeah.
last month. And so we all can like get going.
Yeah,
I guess if we have not followed through.
that would be a good time to see them, yeah.
So I don't know that they need to, for me, I don't know that it needs to be the agenda, but to see a reminder, like I see them in the meeting minutes, but then to have somebody like put it in my face a little
Yeah.
bit more overtly would be helpful.
I'll take that, thank you. Any other discussion on the minutes?
Not for these minutes, but I just want to say I learned how to put the minutes on the town website, but it looked like some of them were actually already there. So the town, but they can't be seen yet, so the town clerk is working with the company to figure out how to show them. Like, there were a few that weren't there, but a lot of them were already there, but they
Mel-
just need to be visible.
Yeah, Mel did mention that she was going to play with that to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, so anyway, they're not there yet, is what I'm telling you, but we do have them, so if anybody asks you for the minutes, we do have them.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Okay, second, Chris. All, a vote, all approve? Those who approve, those who abstain,
Okay.
those who say no. So 5-1, or 5-0.
Okay.
5 approve, 0 no, 1 abstain.
One is abstain, yeah.
Just one other note, we do print up the minutes and they are in the closet, so I mean, we have paper copies, if worse comes to worse, someone can actually come in and see them, even though they can't get to them from the website.
It's a new website. We're all learning. We upgraded. The upgrade's scary. So,
Okay, thanks, Chris, I'll put that in here.
So I have some little side notes, but the events that I had listed, I'll just go down and then we can add to as need be, but Saturday's 28th annual road race.
Yes, the road race is on Saturday. There are 76 people who have registered already. And we usually get another 20 or 30 who register the day of.
Wow.
The weather looks like it's going to hold. It might rain in the afternoon, but it looks like the morning is going to be very nice. We picked up we lost a couple sponsors this year, and we picked up like 2 new sponsors, so we're kind of in a wash right now. Like the ones we lost, we picked them up. We replaced them. You've seen your shirts. They are gray and blue, so very fun. The race starts at 9. So if trustees could be there like around between 8 and 8:30, that would be great.
And where is that we need?
It's at the center school.
Okay.
So the center school parking lot. Usually trustees will help with the registration table, the prize table with Chris, the food. So usually there's bagels and bananas that need to be cut and stuff like that. So, so kind of being around and, being advocates for the library and stuff like that. As I say, every year, the race starts at 9 and people have to run the race, and sometimes it takes a while for people to finish the race. So there's a down period, but you should expect to be out by 11:30, 12 or so. And if you can't stay for the whole thing, that's also fine. But it's, Maria, for you, I don't know if you've participated in the race before in the past or not, but it's an out back. So we start at the center school, go down to about the very cutoff, come back. It's an old school race. Like, we have little labels that we give people, so it's like you don't have the track in your shoe or anything like that. We got a board where we list the times and the winners, and then we have probably about 50 or 60 prizes that are donated throughout the community.
Wow.
And so the winners in different age categories will get a prize, and then any prizes that are left over, we just do a drawing. And so, like, most 2/3 of the people probably leave with some sort of a prize. Prizes range from, like, we have like Woo Sox tickets, like a 4-pack Woo Sox tickets. We have we got old.
Well, I can tell you
Starbridge
exactly what we have.
I
We've
know.
got hands down massage, we have gift cards to assorted supermarkets, we have the Worcester Art Museum, the Fitchburg Art Museum, the JFK Memorial place, we have the Woo Sox, like you said, we have Williams Restaurant, I'm throwing, the 99 restaurant. I'm trying to think of who else.
We have like grocery stores,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it's a
And
variety
then
of
people
different
have
things.
donated like artwork or, you know, so it's a wide variety of like items that people have
Stars and
donated.
Stripes Diner,
Yeah, so
so.
it's a nice race, and it usually raises about like $3,000 to $4,000. So,
I think it's also great that Travis paved the course.
yes,
Yeah, that was a very,
Absolutely.
Good timing.
yeah,
I was nervous.
Any
that I
paved
was-
road in Hubbardston is exciting.
yes. Yeah. And Tom's done a great job of putting out the signs throughout
yard signs, yeah,
town,
thank
the
you.
yard
They're
signs.
prominent.
So, you know,
Yeah.
they're definitely noticeable. So,
Very nice.
so it'll be a great race day on Saturday.
I will complain. So I regularly walk Malone Road,
Mhm.
and I've gone down to the Buckley Sanctuary and we used to ride our bikes. The traffic, I'm not happy with.
I know.
We go at weird times when I think there won't be that many people, and there's a whole lot more people on that trail than there used to be.
Yeah, I know, but the
Well,
word
it's
got
new. It'll
out.
fade away.
Yeah.
The word got out, and
really
actually
nice.
Keith Tetrault sent me a picture of
And
one of his dogs.
Congratulations on your success.
Thank you. One of his
it's really
dogs has a hide and support on wheels.
Yeah.
And he got to walk. He got to go the course. He doesn't really get to go out and play in the woods because he's.
fabulous.
So it's even ADA accessible for dogs.
Great.
And if I miss any events too, but I just went kind of chronological, Hubbardston Field Day, Saturday the 13th. We're
Yep.
going to have presents.
Yes, we are.
Do you guys need any assistance?
If you want to stop by for an hour or two, that would be fine. Tricia won't be there, it'll be me. Ann will be here at the library. Actually, at the road race, Tricia will be working the library for us.
It's my first year not running with the kids, so sorry guys,
But yeah, we're gonna have the cornhole game, and we're gonna have the flyers like that.
in a
Um,
craft because.
She's gonna have all of that set for me, and all I have to do is show up and say,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, great.
And I have an awning, so I'll bring my awning, and I did purchase weights for awnings that belong to the library, so that will keep it in case it gets windy. So,
Because it does get really windy up there.
it does get breezy up there, but these will work out really well. And I am gonna have the chicken barbecue, because that's the whole point.
I hear you.
You'll be there for the day too, so you can stop in and help. And then going on other dates, it would be Thursday, October 2nd is the 48 Garden Road Taste of Hubbardston Open House.
Yes. Hi, I'm psychotic.
All right. Followed by None Such Open House, that's at the rec field.
Yep, None
October
Such.
11th.
Yep, that is None Such Fest. That's a true food truck festival and a bunch of other stuff. So I talked to Katie about having a table and a presence there as well. So I'll be doing double duty. I'll be doing the table in the town because Hub Connect went live. So if people have questions, I'm the person, I guess. I am the person.
Are there additional dates? So we've gone into October, but any other events?
Just
Dates?
open house, which is great
Are we talking
for,
an open house for school?
Yes.
For school.
Oh, okay.
It's a great time to capture new library cards, new students, new families to town, getting them to know about our different programs, that the kids will be coming over.
When is that?
It's,
The 11th, I
it's
believe.
September 11th.
So I'll be, it lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be over there, I'll have applications for parents to prepare them for, kids having their library card. If they are not comfortable having their kids have a library card, then they can just say it's under my mom's name, and I will do it that way.
Thank you very much.
So this flyers is for these things?
Yes.
Yes,
That's great.
I did in-house printing because it was $84 at Staples, and I giggled and I said no.
And then and this is where I reorganized our agenda a little bit, and I moved up a standing item of reviewing the trustees calendar and other activities that we have. If there are any edits to our calendar, please let me know. All right.
Well, I guess we could add these other events if they're regular
I would love for you guys to come up to the Taste of Hubbardson, even if it's just for a little while before your trustee meeting. We're allowing all departments to table that aren't physically at 48, so like police, fire's there, but they're not really part of the open house. Can't have people wandering around apparatus bay. So
We'll work on those.
DPW.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm sorry, so these events, they're on the town website, right?
Mhm.
Okay, because I just have to make sure I have the right
Oh,
information.
really? Because I didn't see them there.
I don't know how.
I have
they had
shortened
updates.
hours now, okay?
Yeah.
I haven't gone to everything, but I did
I'm
put
only
the road
seeing-
race and all that out there for you guys.
You did,
Yeah,
and I
thank
did see
you.
that.
You guys gave me a list last trustee meeting, and
Here.
I got through most of this.
All right, so these are some notes. Did you guys happen to see on the town website, there's a report
Yes.
that was filled out in June, the ADA report? So I have a couple questions, and it was brought to my attention that maybe because they prepare it, that their own library is the Hubbard Memorial Library, which ours is referred to in the report as such.
And I think that the gentleman who did the report mentioned that he lives down near Ludlow and made that.
Yes.
Yes, so.
I let
he
him
made
know that
mistake.
he needed to fix it.
So where it says it's a draft, I just wanted to say a few things. And then, there are a few questions also that I had. So there's on page 68, it says the responsible party for the annex building is select board, whereas on page 87, it's like trustees and select board, so it's kind
So
of like.
when he started his ADA report, we were still in the basement of the library.
So that's where I was kind of wondering where this
Right.
was kind of coming from. And then
So-
there is a comment. I was asked a question with regards to, and perhaps because it's not really utilized, is on page 88, the extent of level 2, or the lack of extent to which they assessed it. And as it's not currently used, it has a couple comments with regards to railings, but then basically saying because there's no accessible route of travel to the second level, with the stairs being the only means, that's the extent that I'm going to write the report.
Yes. So I followed him around all day that day, brought him to all the different locations that the municipality owns, including the library. So he did this in February, in the middle of winter. I felt so bad because he had to do the rec field in the blistering cold. We were still here. The town offices were, when I say we were still here, the town offices were still in the process of moving out. So that's why I think when he wrote the library section, it was actually one of the first things he had done was the library section. So that's why he says the annex falls under the select board. Obviously, that's not true anymore. It is now library trustees and library trustees only. The second floor. As a librarian, I did not feel that I could just bring a stranger up there and open the door and allow him to look inside. I didn't hear back from the Historical Society to allow him entrance. And then the minute he stepped on that staircase, he realized how old the staircase he was standing on was. So a lot of this, if you read further into his report, a lot of the ADA is now protected by the historical nature of the building. So yes, the railings
Yes.
don't meet code
Yes.
ADA accessibility. However, most of those railings are original to the building. So
this has been a discussion, but even back when town offices were down there, the trustees are the purview of trustees is the maintenance of the building. So even that being said, even when they were there, facilities for that space
fell.
and so the nature of the ADA, that would still be under so that's where it's a working draft. In the instance of especially coming through the facilities, I'm not sure if Chris B was available. It would be nice to have library director, but at least one trustee representative for questions and or contact with?
So he
these?
basically showed up, I let him into the building, and that's all he wanted.
So is it possible, especially where this says it's a working draft,
To have him come back and
And-
edit, absolutely.
edit / have some things that feel, I mean, Hubbard Memorial is a glaring one.
Right.
But then also the select board, there are some corrections since then, but even if it, in the image of February, it still actually would be the trustees.
Right, so
Or just have a phone conversation.
Exactly.
I can get you his contact. He actually emails back very quickly.
Okay.
So I will get you his contact information and you can,
So I very much cheated on this, and I don't play well with Google Docs. This is Word. But this is me having taken this report and requested basically a summarization, but also taking into context like the historical nature of the building, prioritizations, and yes, especially with regards to the railings. Take this with a huge grain of salt, and it just is just one other tool to be taken from the report that I just wanted to hand out for trustees to review, but I felt were key considerations such as parking, addressing the main entrance, the exterior lift. These are all not new to us. The other ones, the interior doors, thresholds, width, bathrooms, the mezzanine, and then also the second level. So especially the mezzanine and the second level, in the instance that we did want to have accessibility, and we've talked about, especially the mezzanine, nobody's going up there. But in the instance that anybody were, what are the considerations that we should be aware of? So just point blank saying, because people don't access it, we're not going to write a report. Doesn't feel just. So that is just something that I wanted to bring up. And then big grain of salt with regards to prioritization and recommendations, but the exterior lift replacement / addressing access and lift. And again, the accessibility parking routes, we just talked about Monty Tech and the sidewalk would be amazing. Addressing access through restrooms, interior doors, hardware, furniture, fixtures, railings, things like that of historical nature, especially.
Oh, Wendy Frontier? Yeah.
Exactly. Taking into context the other information that we have in other reports. So just another tool and just additional information. If it is helpful, I just want to share that with you.
Thank you.
This is really good. So we're gonna, just as a follow-up, we're gonna be able to contact.
Yes, I will get
the
you-
town. I mean, are there any other updates
Yeah.
that people want that they would?
there are a couple other, departments that have reached out that have asked for either recommendations or, you know, because a big chunk of it was the school too. So we had to hand it over to the school and, like the animal policy, the school didn't have one. And then they were kind of shot in the foot because now there is a working dog in the school. So, you know, things that were never thought of because they were never an issue before are now here on their doorstep, and now they are scrambling to make those changes applicable. Whereas the school doesn't necessarily fall underneath the historic. The library certainly does, with first and foremost door handles and width of doors and that kind of thing. I mean, they're original to the building. We can't touch them. So where are the spaces that are not original that do need adjustments? So, but it's just, you guys aren't the only ones, so I feel like I've been handing out his information quite steadily over the past couple of months, so I will get you his information.
So
Like I
we
said,
can
he's really
schedule
great.
a time, like with Chris and a trustee or something like that.
And when and if we ever want to say like about us and our history and the historical nature for visitors, it is something to where even through our language on our website, etc., that we might share is saying, please note, knowing that this is a historical nature, you may find thresholds and doors and things like that in order to preserve the nature of the historical nature of the building. So that's a back burner comment that we may want to address and make available to the public at some
When
point.
he and I were downstairs in the municipal side, I did explain to him that, you know, obviously the basement is going to change what it is for the 100th, who knows how many times. And he said, do you have any idea? And I said, well, some of it's going to be programming space. And he said, well, this section of the building is way more easily to be made ADA accessible, or is already ADA accessible, that is, I highly suggest that that's what this becomes, because even for people who cannot, because of the lift or whatever, or no access to the second floor, you can have it down here.
Yeah.
So,
Can I just ask, is the town, working on this, like how to get funding? I mean, I think we would like to participate
yes,
in any.
there is an ADA grant that you
Okay.
need, the whole part of getting that part of the grant where you get funding for resources and stuff, you have to have this. So
Right.
this was a big chunk of the work that we had, that accessibility plan, and now you apply for funding for these projects that he suggests. So obviously in the town administrator's office, the first and foremost look is going to be to 48 Gardner Road. But that's not to say that we don't have a copy of this in our hands, that we could apply for ADA grants for the library, and there are historic ADA grants making historic buildings in Massachusetts ADA accessible. So that we are applicable to those grants, whereas 48 Gardner Road is obviously not. So I will keep my eye out for those. We usually get a postcard in the mail when the grant season for that grant opens. So I will keep my eye out for it. And I'll snag it before the first meeting house snags it.
So at what point will the town convert this draft to a report?
At such a time where I stop finding spelling mistakes.
So is it the town doing so?
No, so we're still working with, I think it was through MRPC or one of those planning that we did this through. So when I stop finding copy and paste or bad spelling mistakes or something that doesn't make sense and I need him to explain it to me in layman terms, then I think it'll go from being a draft to a, here's your big binder of your plan.
So we have time for follow-up and
Yep.
That's great.
more conversation.
Any other further discussion, comments? Especially, I will say this, homework for trustees, if you have the chance, and there are other parts, but the key ones that I found were between pages like 68 to 92, I want to say, 92.
This is from the ADA report, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a summary of kind of some key takeaways and points.
I
But-
threw the whole thing into ChatGPT and asked to explain it to me like I was stupid.
Yeah.
And it was helpful.
And then prioritize and what can be done and what can be done in the historical nature and things like that. But if you have a chance to review, again, the key being, I felt pages 68 through 92. Forward those on, okay?
It's just two things. It's
Yeah.
great that there's the dollar amounts. I mean, some things are missing, but like it says, the library total would be $156,475 for what they listed. So, at least it gives us
An idea.
some idea.
He
And
did that at my request so that I could, if I have numbers, it's a heck of a lot easier to
Yeah.
apply for a grant when I have
Yeah.
the physical backup of this is how much it's going to cost. This is how much it's going to
Just a
cost in
ballpark
2025
estimate.
money, because sometimes I find stuff from 2013 and that's not helpful because that's not what it costs
Well,
now.
That's what I was going to say. I think this would be helpful for the CIPC grants. If we were thinking,
I
you
was
guys
just
are going to
gonna
be
bring that
talking
up.
about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
How does that merge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
are we done with the EDA? Okay. So transition to sub/working groups?
One more.
Oh,
You mentioned what Travis is gonna do here.
Mm-hmm.
or get a quote for.
Well, is he got a sketch or a design or something?
Sketch and design is actually done by Monty Tech, because that's how this,
Does
the
it
kids.
exist?
Oh, not yet, because he's having them come this week.
Okay.
He put it on their radar that they're gonna come here and take a look. But the kids sketch it out and do a design, like they have to do it from beginning to end.
Can you see that sketch comes?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
of course. He already knows. I made him well aware of it.
So I have a question, because if I recall correctly, we were gonna have Monty Tech do some work on the library, but they could not do the work on the library because they're not supposed to do
They
touch
cannot
historical
touch
buildings.
historical buildings,
But
but
the
exterior.
sidewalk doesn't count? Okay, thank you.
Like they couldn't do the foundation, but when I was going around for volunteers, the landscaping and horticulture said, well, I have students that would love to volunteer, so they can do that out there. They can do like landscaping and stuff, but they can't physically touch the building.
Good. Thank you.
That'd be great.
Is there a plan for landscape?
Not really. Just mostly get out the invasive
Volunteering.
stuff. Volunteering. Get out the invasive stuff and make it look really pretty.
Monty Tech doesn't do landscaping.
What?
Monty Tech doesn't do landscaping.
No, it's more horticulture than it is landscaping.
They actually-
We called it landscaping when I was in tech school. It's not
You may want to
landscaping.
reach out to them because they're actually advertising landscaping. But it's Monty Tech Nights, landscaping specifically.
Yeah, they have a new grant program. Actually, Hunter
Yeah.
Young is part of it, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
can't wait to see what comes out of it.
So, a suggestion and to start the next kind of group of reports slash discussions are, we've floated the name of subcommittees. And then a suggestion came up to changing from subcommittee to working group. Any discussion on that? Preferences?
Chris, didn't you say like a subcommittee?
It was my understanding, and Tricia can correct me, that a subcommittee, or committees tend to be formulated by, or created by the select board. So if you have a subcommittee, I'm fairly certain that the select board has to approve it. Whereas if you have a working group, you do not need to bring this up to the select board for approval.
So if you have a committee and then you have a subcommittee, and so yes, with the select board, but we're finding, thanks to a phone call with the ethics committee, that you have to fill out a conflict of interest form, and it's this whole big thing, so working group is a great idea.
So, if all are in favor, I don't even know that we need to have a vote on this. It's just a matter of semantics. Going forward, we're going to utilize working groups. Therefore, moving on. The following working groups, and please let me know if I'm missing any. But these are what I recall us having, is that we have a trustee training slash orientation working group. And that is Chris and Krista,
Yeah.
correct? So I'm also going to, for my own,
Yeah. So I'll say these groups will have up to 3 people we can have?
we can have
Only
up
2.
to 3
Okay.
before it's considered a quorum.
Having a new trustee, we brought this up at our last meeting, I believe, or the meeting before that. And then there were a couple of programs that I found really helpful as a relatively new trustee from MBLC mostly. So it came up as a topic for discussion. I know we have a heavy agenda with some other action items that are taking precedent, but just a suggestion of, Krista and I met and talked about a few priorities of things that we might discuss at a future meeting when time allows. But MBLC is repeating their program that I found helpful, So You Want to Be a Library Trustee. And I can send out their invitation. It's Wednesday, September 24th from 7 to 8. It's only 30 minutes long. And I think for those of you who have been around a while, it's not very compelling. I found it somewhat interesting. It goes over the role of MBLC, introduces you to their resources, how libraries are governed and financed, and then roles and responsibilities of trustees. But again, it's pretty general, and that pocket guide that we have about trustees covers much of the same.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. In our HPL trustees right now, we have stored the recording and also slides from So You Want to Be. And likewise, it is my understanding from attending previous ones, if you register for the MBLC meeting, but you're unable to attend, they'll send you a recording of it. So if you want it for your own private recording at a later time, it's that balance of too much information, not enough. If you sign up for it and want to view it at a different time than September 24th at 7 and attending it live, you may.
Yeah, we have a whole sheet of those links. So, you know, if something comes up that's especially pertinent to our discussion, we could always review it and have, you know, build our discussion around some of the best practices that are suggested by MBLC.
I think one of the ways in which we as trustees can utilize the working groups is by breaking into the working groups and culling information and saying these are the key takeaways too. And this is something that, so some of it, there was another session that was brought to our attention of like session 3 library policies, which we also have accessibility through recording and slides. So I would like to share that information, / it is in the agenda now, for trustees to be able to review at their own time, but then it may be more permanent for the working group to be able to take some key takeaways of, these were my takeaways that I learned from this, and I learned something new. This is an invitation, one, for you guys to be aware of that, and then invitation to go out and get that information yourself.
Yeah, so there's, like you said, there's 3 things. You can watch, well, some of them you can watch live. You can watch the recorded video, or you can just look at the PowerPoint slides, like just for a quick thing, like, do I think this is going to be helpful for me? The policies, I think if Chris, if you were interested in watching it, I mean, I think it just gives us a broader perspective. Like we've been looking at, you know, our particular thing. So I thought it was helpful just in terms of like, you know, like I just said, a broader perspective and what the goal of the policies are. But, you know, if you just want to poke at the slides, just spend a few minutes on that, then you can figure out if you want to do more. But I think, Chris, you made up you have it ready to go, like an email that kind of summarizes what we were talking about tonight.
Yeah, and I can send that out to individual trustees too.
It'll have
With the links.
Yeah.
So I did watch the session 3 library policies recording, and my big takeaway, like as we're going, Krista and I, through policies, a section we have not addressed is a scripted section for crises and crisis management. So as the library director, for instance, when the boiler repair and you were somewhat interviewed and you made a public announcement with regards to, hey, this is what's going on, and hey, I don't know how useful it would be to have scripts, because sometimes how do you account for all the crises? But having a general guideline for some is something that we could consider. So that was one of my takeaways that we don't have, and it wasn't on my radar that others do.
And social media, like we might want to consider having a social media policy. Some libraries do. There were a few things like that, I think.
Do we have an intern policy?
We do.
Cool.
Yep.
We had someone
So
reach
we
out.
have at least a draft. We have a comprehensive policy draft to where we had a lot of individual policies that we pulled together, and we are working our way through that policy.
Because we have a young lady from Quabbin who is interested in being an intern at the library. But she applied through the town website. So Chris and I will work on that to see if.
And a lot of that
Chris is
goes under
working with
staffing is,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you both were talking at the same time. Krista?
No, I was just saying, I think you've had interns before.
I don't know if I could call her an intern because she was taking a course
Oh.
and she was learning about the library as a high school course. So I would teach her cataloging, referencing, you know, not referencing because you were much better at that than I was, but, you know, how to work the front desk, how to work with people, things like that. I think she did good. I thought she did good.
So that policy video might be one to review right before our next policy meeting, if you think it's relevant.
so that's the other discussion, and the balance too with trustees' time. So I would like to share it, and especially where it's available, hopefully everybody can view it on the agenda, and otherwise we'll send it out summary. So if you have that summary of things, and we can send a summary of the session 3, and so you want to be a library trustee, were the 2 that I got. The other agenda item that I had under you guys was to review the open meeting law and executive session law. So I would like to table that and schedule that because I think there's a lot going on.
Maria, did you do that? Did you have to do that as a new trustee? There's like an online
yes,
tutorial.
yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we've all done it once. Like, that doesn't mean we never have to look at it again, but
Was your intent as trustees to review it?
I think a few things have come up. That was on the agenda for a long time, I think. But I don't think it's urgent.
Okay. Okay. And then there was the discussion of how, if everybody's okay, I'm going to move the library policy subcommittee group up to the next working group. So under library policies committee group, it was established back in July that at this meeting, we would establish our next date to go over the comprehensive policies. And Krista and I have met, and I think we will be meeting at least once, if not twice, before we as trustees meet. And we're getting feedback from Chris and the library staff. In preparation of that meeting, I would like to find out what is the most effective way to meet. Would you like to resume the electronic means of reviewing the comprehensive policies? And this would be new for you, to where we've met via Google Meet. Teams
now, yeah.
And we've shared the comprehensive policies and have kind of read and gone through and made comments and edited together. We have also had working groups come together and convene a full trustee meeting, to where we've met like on Saturdays or on a separate meeting in person, and we can project like up onto TVs, so we're together in one room doing so. So those are the two primary means by which I could foresee meeting. The other use for the meeting, so although we had intended to utilize it to go back and edit and review the comprehensive policies, if the trustee training orientation working group feels a better use of our time will be a review and or discussion of Session 3 library policies, which primarily talks about the tone of policies and also policies that we've had, which could include some policies we're missing, such as the crisis and social media. Would you, as trustees, prefer to utilize our time doing that? And in a way, almost killing two birds with one stone. It would be a review of training, a discussion of our policies. So I'm asking kind of to gauge a thermometer of how the trustees feel it's working. For you, you're going to get to dive right into the comprehensive policies.
Right, because you haven't been able to join us in some of the online meetings.
Yeah, technology hasn't been too much of a friend.
No, I have no problem doing a Zoom or
Teams or otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So what, and I mean, time permitting, would you like to start with a discussion of like I feel it would be beneficial perhaps to start with Session 3 library policies discussion before jumping into the comprehensive policies, but I'm going to defer to Chris and Krista.
I think previewing the video separately, because otherwise
Yeah.
we're using an hour.
Time.
of
Yeah.
time.
But
And then-
coming to prepare
and then
with a
maybe some
discussion?
pointed questions coming
Yeah.
up with things that would have relevant context for
Okay.
what we're about to look
So
at.
coming into the meeting, having watched the video and or reviewed the slides, prepared to have a discussion
On
with pointed
key points,
key
yeah.
points, and then with time remaining, it would go into the comprehensive.
Policy,
I
Does
don't
that
think
sound
it
good?
would be more than like,
5-10 minutes.
yeah.
And I'm going to try to limit, I'd like to limit those meetings no more than 90 minutes. So I'd like to be aware of everybody's time. And I'd like to, this is probably going to be a little bit longer of a meeting, but our trustees meetings used to be about an hour. I want to try to get back to that goal and be aware of everybody's time. So that being said, looking at your schedules in September / into October, what works best for trustees?
Doesn't matter to me if we're in person or at home, but looking at it on a screen together seems to work for me.
Okay.
I mean, I like being home, but
Do you have any problem with Teams or virtual meetings?
No, where is the select things I'm supposed to look at? Where are they located
Well,
now? Are
Chris-
they in Google Docs?
They are, but Chris, we wanted to introduce it at this meeting, but she has an email already set up with the
Oh,
link, so
great.
you'll be able to get to them easily. And the one has this date, like if you want to sign up live, there's also information about how you can do that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
You were gonna say?
after this meeting, I
I'll
can,
send it out.
okay. And then preferences, and are there days of the week or otherwise?
I can't do the 15th.
We're talking September?
September / even into October, if you guys would like, but if we look into, so I'm anticipating our next trustee meeting would be on Thursday, October 2nd. If Thursdays work for you, if you want to look into, I don't know if the week before, the 25th, the 9th.
Let's try
Oh,
it.
October?
Can we try the week before the next meeting? And
So-
then we come to the meeting and we have our,
It's fresh.
Further, fresh?
well, we're either fresh or confused.
So
We'll see.
looking the week prior to October 2nd is the week of Monday, September 22nd through the 26th.
That Thursday, 25.
I can't do it,
Okay. She cannot.
but if everybody else can, it's okay.
Well,
I mean, I
Wednesday.
don't think we need to do the policies before our next meeting necessarily.
Not the policies, but I thought there were a number of things we were supposed to look at.
This would be,
As solo.
policy subcommittee, policy working group meeting. But it would be everybody together, so we have to announce that we're meeting. So the
you
intent is to
need
go
time.
over policies, training, which is, I think it's a 45-minute recording that's available now. And there's, I think, I'm pulling this number off my head, I think it was 16, it's under 20 slides that goes through her presentation.
How about October 9th?
That's not great for me, but you guys can meet without me, so. Do we want to stick with
Are there
Thursday?
days of the week that we should avoid? Are we set on Thursdays?
I don't,
So at this
Okay.
meeting, are we also looking at our policy or are we just,
Time permitting, we will
Okay.
move into the comprehensive policy.
okay.
So Tuesdays, are Tuesday evenings available?
Depends.
Yes.
So looking back and moving back to the possibility of potentially Tuesday, the 23rd of September, availability? Not good?
I could do that. Oh, wait, no, sorry, I can't do that. I could do the 30th.
And I cannot do the 3rd. And
Does October 7th work?
Tuesdays in general.
Oh, I can't do
not.
October 7th, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I just happen to have that Tuesday. The next Tuesday that I might have would not be until like October 22nd.
Maybe we could just do like a doodle poll, because we don't want to take our meeting time with this. Would that be okay? I think I could set that up.
I'm a little hesitant.
do it at
Let's
this
table
meeting?
back
Okay.
because I'm just afraid doodle poll will be a similar
So
scatter.
what was September 25?
It's not available for Krista.
Anything to do with scheduling a meeting is not covered by the open meeting law.
It's not covered by the.
So you
I'm
say
trying to
we can
pull-
do it over email
Okay.
and have conversations.
Okay.
If you could
All
do
right,
like
then
a
let's
Wednesday.
table it and see how time is. I'm just afraid with regards
If
to.
we can't find it now, we're not going to find
Table
it
it
later.
until October.
Well,
The other thing.
Let's
my
look at later in
experience.
October, because maybe that's better for people.
Just make sure I get whatever we're supposed to review.
Yeah, so, we were trying to make a plan, and we have two different things that we think would be helpful. One of them has to do with the policies, and the other one is just in general, like what do trustees do? So you don't have to like do all of this stuff together. Like when we
Right.
schedule this policy meeting, that's when that other one,
Right.
is for.
So this would be way out there. It's a reach. Thursday, October 30th. It's the day before Halloween. Any crazies on that? Any major plans? Any costume parties?
That's what I mean.
So similar time, 7
past
o'clock. So my hope and my reach for this would be, and the intent of this working group pulled together, is that we come to it prepared with having watched / viewed the slides of the library policies, had our discussion on the key points, with time allowing and permitting after that we then look at the comprehensive policies. That being said, the comprehensive policies, the policies themselves, with a table of contents, it's about 33 pages. The most fabulous reading you've ever had. It's a bestseller, I tell you. If the trustees have time, not to necessarily go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but come to that meeting having recently read it, prepared to discuss it in the lens, look at the policies as an overall. So I want to tie together the Session 3 library policies tone with how does our tone of the policies and how does it look? Because that was a key takeaway that I heard from Krista. And then looking at some policies that might be missing, and then any other key things. And then after those two major goals are met, then we have a page, I think it was Fine Free Library Policy, page 22 or so. Again, I'm pulling that out of my head. Don't take it as gold.
And I did add comments from the staff, like they're in comments along the policy, some of the questions that we had, so they're already in there.
Okay.
I mean, I copied their comments and pasted them in, is what I'm saying.
And this will be a virtual meeting. Sound good?
Did we land on October 30th?
Is that good? Okay. You're welcome to come in costume if you want.
I can set that up.
If you can set that up, that would be great.
Yep. And at 7 o'clock, you said?
Yes. Thank you very much. And then circling back to the working group for library lower level renovations. This is with Connie and Chris K, correct?
And Tom. Yes. So, just updates from, sorry. Do we need to recap what we talked about at the July meeting, or are we good?
I don't think we have to read
Okay.
that.
So since July, I had reached out to McCarty Architects, and they said they've never worked with the city of Hubbardston or the town of Hubbardston. So they referred me to Mackenzie, which is also in Leominster. So I reached out to them. They are willing to do a site visit to look at the structural nature of the building. He said that he would come out to do the site inspection and to write the report would be between $1,500 and $3,000. He was going to be able to come out last week, but we wanted to wait and have a discussion about do we want to spend $1,500 or $3,000 on a report. I asked him to give me an overview of what the report would entail. I asked him about 2 weeks ago, and then I emailed him again today, and I haven't heard back from him. So this one person is not very responsive. Somebody else is more responsive. But I'm assuming it's going to be a structural review of the building, like the structural integrity of the building.
But with the focus being an intent, I don't know how much beyond the first floor level.
Yeah, we might just want to focus on the lower level.
Exactly.
So I guess what we're looking for is to gauge comfort level at expending $1,500 to $3,000. That would not be covered under CPA because we'd not put in a request for a structural report. It would come out of a donation fund or a trust fund. So I think that
This is first floor only, not the quote building.
/ lower level.
we can just limit it. I'd just say first.
Yep.
I mean, yes, I would imagine the
In fact-
integrity of the structural is gonna really be at the lower level more so than at the
Do we
upper.
want to limit it even further and just talk about the famous wall?
I think where they're
Well,
here, it would be beneficial
think-
to get the entirety of the main ground level, basement level, if they're going to do so.
Well, like the mold, like is that, like, do we want them to look
We
at
have a
that?
quote for it.
Okay, I mean, we talked about asbestos, I mean,
Asbestos, we talked about like OSHA standards, egresses. You know, if are there any structural issues with the
Yeah.
building that we should be aware of? Because the report we have from Renji Frontiero, her first report was really a historical preservation assessment, and she specifically says, I'm not looking at structure, I'm not looking at boilers, you know, I'm just looking at the historical aspects of it. And then the follow-up report was, again, more like the nature of like the doors and stuff like that. So we have not really had a structural assessment done, I think, of the building. Like we'd had the foundation report done that, Tom, you had done a few years ago
With that other guy.
with that other guy. But I don't think there's ever been a structural assessment.
He's
of the
also
building.
a structural engineer.
Yeah. So I mean, if I don't hear back from this other guy, like if Mackenzie doesn't really respond back to me timely, I can reach out to him.
I know the nature of assessments can vary. I was kind of thrown to where if it's just for that one level, I would have anticipated it being at the lower level / up to 1,500. So where it comes in at 1,500 up to 3,000, I was like, I'm surprised it doesn't include
Right.
more. So if it came in, and not to say I'd be very upset, but if it came in at 3,000 for just that lower level, that's where I want to be cognizant and responsible for our funds and where it would be best funded from and where we have the best buffer. And so
What are
trustee
our
discussion on
questions
that.
for this guy, or person?
So one of my primary that I would like addressed is to make sure as we do utilize the ground main level is structural integrity of walls and what walls are like load bearing, what are not, what we're able to play with, doorways, things like that. So really having a concrete, funny pun, understanding of what cannot be moved.
How much change can be made.
Exactly.
Well, many of the walls are brick. And,
The interior walls.
yeah, interior walls. Two big walls down the hallway of brick. And I only know of one wall
Between,
that is of a question. Does anybody know any other wall?
the one to the
Between-
separates the big room.
the big one
Underneath
that's
us.
underneath us.
Yeah. I mean, there's one wall. I'm not sure I want to open up the can of worms of new doors and access.
Egress.
and-
See, I thought that's what we discussed at the the meeting when we met, that we had talked about that. I thought we were ready to go out for a quote, and then it was like, oh, we should just bring somebody in to look at the structure of it.
Is he going to give us a little certificate that says you passed OSHA?
No.
I mean, that's what egresses are all about. Confined space. And
But he could give an insight into the exits that we have now, whether or not they would be considered an egress.
Isn't some of that covered in the ADA report?
Are we talking OSHA?
OSHA.
What are we talking about here?
Well, when you're in a room like this, you gotta have two ways out.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it has to be considered a confined space. In fact, it is a confined space, even with two exits. But I think if we're gonna modify something, I hear that we're gonna have an engineer come in and look at it and write a report. And then if we actually took the wall down, we'd have another party come in and take the wall down. But he wouldn't take the wall down without a certificate that says if I take the wall down, everything's gonna be okay. That's what I would expect from the first guy. So that you can hand it to the second guy and he takes it down with confidence.
And is that not what this is doing?
I'm not sure. I just asked.
That was my expectation of what this was doing.
All right? Then we,
And I don't have a lot more than, I think we're all on the same page. Please let me know about this wall. But whatever else does show up, but that's my primary, what I want to hear.
I thought it was gonna be more like you get your house inspected before you buy it or something, before you do. So
Like
that would be more
a-
Do we
Encompassing
need
of the
that? Maybe
entirety
we
of
don't
the
need
building?
that.
maybe we just have to have a conversation with the guy before we hire him.
Hmm.
That is focused on that
What about the
concern.
guy who did 48 Gardner Road?
I don't know who that is. I thought it was McCarty.
It was not McCart. We called Patrick when we were thinking even about buying 48 Gardner Road. We had him come in and see if like this was even a good idea.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of work with the businesses in town, like Paper Crane and stuff like that. So we knew Patrick. We trusted Patrick when he said, yeah, it's structurally sound. But then we had to hire somebody with the Public Safety Building Committee that we now have a relationship with because he just did the first meeting house. And I will pull his name out of my brain somewhere, but I can never remember it because that's been compartmentalized into the back. And because now we're working with a designer and I have to remember his name.
So, in interest of time and what I would like to do, if we are able to get that information.
I will get that
and,
information.
Like ASAP.
Yes, like I'm gonna go home tonight and pull it out of my email.
What I would like to do is just say, I would like to gauge the trustees tonight, but with that being said, that so that we're able to move forward and not stall too long. How do the trustees feel, regardless of whom it is, spending up to $3,000? That's my first question.
Yeah, I
They don't
think
wanna
getting that
spend it over.
itemized list of what you get for that money is important. I mean, what would be included in that report?
Okay. So with that being said, I do feel like it's pertinent to get more information before we're able to place a vote. The second question of that is if we were comfortable with, or, let's see this. What are we looking to get out of the report? Is getting a structural assessment of the lower level of the library sufficient if it includes assessment of this wall?
I think we have to put forth proposed modifications. What do we have to do to pull off these proposed modifications? And the modification is remove the wall. Is it prohibited because it's structural? Is it allowed and it requires a whole bunch of work? Or does it just come down and there's no consequences?
So
Okay.
that's more narrow, right? That's
So
just looking
that
at
is
I'm
the
trying to
extent-
narrow it so we
Can a
get-
general contractor do that? Like, couldn't we do that as part of a quote for a general contractor?
That's what I'm thinking, that can we move forward with a general contractor?
And,
Clean up that one room, get programming going, because we're gonna run out of money.
Right, like, do we need to
There's
have the structural assessment
Right.
done, or can we just hire a general contractor who would probably be able to tell us if it's load bearing or
Was
not?
it the person's name who you gave last time, a general contractor?
He does
the 48?
he does do general contracting, but we haven't particularly, like, we have a working relationship with Patrick McCartney, who's one of the owners of McCartney and Sons. I think he's actually one of the sons. But I do believe, yes, but I just texted Nate for the name of the guy that we used for
Who was your GC?
general contractor at 48. Oh, we had to put that out to bid. And that was
Who'd you hire?
New Kappa Construction. Thank you. Sorry, I told you it's back there. It's just, it's
New-
far back there. New Kappa Construction. His
New
name.
Kappa?
Yep, New Kappa. KAPPA. Like
What?
Like-
the Greek
Like
symbol,
Phi
Kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
So maybe we
they're
should
Greek.
just find out if they can do that kind of thing.
Just
or
get
if
in
we
there,
need
clean it,
report.
to see what needs to be done with the ceiling, with the walls, the floor.
Yeah, we used New Kappa Construction because it went out to bid, so, and that's who bid on it. Vasilios.
So perhaps a better approach is to field a little bit more information, perhaps take the route of a GC versus structural assessment, if the extent is with regards to that wall, okay? Am I hearing the
Very-
trustees?
Very narrow.
Is that the right feeling? And
And
I'm
we do
looking
need-
at the lower level working group.
We did have a broader scope in mind, at one time, I forget the process here, but we wanted to make sure that, I don't know what I'm talking about, but like a side door, does a wheelchair fit down that access, and can it be used as an exit in the ADA sense or in the OSHA sense?
I think some of that might be in this report.
Yeah, I thought it brushed up against it, but I'm not sure it said definitively you can or can't.
I also wrote this kind of stuff into that grant for Community One Stop, which we might actually hear back sooner rather than later. It sounds like they've already started getting ready to do the awards. So fingers crossed, everyone.
So are we allowed to just hire a general contractor, or do we have to go out to bid?
It depends on the scope of the project.
Depends on
Okay.
how much.
How much it costs.
I thought we just needed,
Oh, I don't
So,
know, just asking.
do we just need 3 quotes?
Again, it depends on the scope of the
Under
project.
right.
$10,000, you can
We don't know
use
this
what's
stuff.
called
Is
good
that what you're
business
saying?
practice.
Say it was like a $2,000 job.
Right.
It's under. We don't have to gather the 3 quotes. If we wanted to throw in an ADA accessible 3-story elevator that gives us access to the entire library, I'm willing to bet that that's going to be well above that we have to get 3 quotes.
Okay.
So I'm just
The
going to throw
break
out
point
2
is
big.
$10,000.
I thought we had a
state
dollar
law.
amount we were
So-
working
$10,000.
with.
We do, right, and
Okay.
we have a $40,000 grant.
Yeah, that's
So, like, I think when we initially met, I thought we were hoping to do an RFP so we can get 3 people, or get people to bid on the entire project for the $40,000. And then it kind of went down, then it shifted a little bit. It's like, oh, we should get a structural assessment done first. But can we just go forward with trying to put an RFP together to get this project done?
I would redirect, and I would say rather than the structural assessment, integrity, let's proceed with trying to find a GC. I'm not gonna be too picky, but if anybody is comfortable with the Hubbardston Library and says, oh my God, I want to preserve the historical nature of it and not destroy it, hire them. That would be my emphasis.
Are you talking about for the entire $40,000 project?
Or if we, like, as we do it, we may not find somebody that does the entirety of it. We may have to piecemeal it.
Well, the general contractor
Close.
would do it, and then he would subcontract
Piecemeal
out
out.
for flooring.
If we
or
can
stuff
find
like
it that way, if we can. So I'm hearing again, potentially that McCarthy has worked with the town again. Maybe we can approach, maybe somebody can pour honey in their ear or something. And then another name thrown out of New Kappa Construction, potentially? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, and Nate hasn't texted me because he's probably asleep, but if you guys do decide that the structural report is something that you absolutely have to have, or the GC wants it, I will get the name out of my email.
In the instance, in the interest of time, how comfortable are the trustees? Should we get pushback saying that we need to have this structural assessment? How comfortable would the trustees be with spending upwards of $3,000? So in the instance that we need it, and an appropriate place would be the donation account. We have an estimation of 23,000 in that right now.
Do you need
Would
me
the
to-
trustees be comfortable with
Do you need to?
earmarking upwards of 3,000 should it become
Yeah.
necessary?
Okay.
So I'm looking to, if
Yeah.
anybody's willing to make a motion to hold a vote,
Tell Samantha again.
a second?
Or email.
And then all in favor of spending upwards of 3,000 should we need it for a structural assessment? Anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? So should it become necessary, it is available. You, as a working group, have the green light from the trustees to proceed if it becomes necessary without coming back to the October meeting.
And in
Okay.
the meantime, we're gonna
And-
work on a RFP for
An
the
RFP
general
RFP.
for a
contractors.
general contractor.
I also heard that the ADA person could be re-involved in some way. Can we have him assess my wheelchair thoughts?
I will make a note on the
Because I don't
EDA
think-
for when I hear back,
I
or
don't
when I hear
think
from
he
them.
really said it in his
And
report.
Tom, if you wouldn't mind emailing me a little input on that, I'm making a note, but wheelchair and your concern
Well,
is like the
I
hallway?
use wheelchair only as an example of all accessibility, whatever it is.
So ADA accessibility, was it the hallway? Was it the entirety of the first floor? So perhaps you and I can have a side,
It was
If-
definitely
if that's
first
okay.
floor. Yes.
that would be awesome. Any other not to dismiss, but was there any other points that the lower level renovation working group wanted to bring up?
Nope, that was our sticking point.
Okay. The CIPC working group and CIPC.
Is that you? Yes.
Congratulations.
Hi. Hi. We need bumpers or more directions on exactly what it is. I have no idea. I did look up on the town website, the form that they use, but it looks like it's something they prepare to give to the select board. So it isn't anything we would be doing. So,
Well, we have quite a bit with regards to pulling together the form to be able to give them the information to be able to present. So that is our step.
okay.
Am I correct in this? This is my understanding.
Yeah, there is a form that we filled out in the past that is submitted, and I feel like Nate had a Google folder that he shared where you could submit additional documents. And like
Well, I just
quotes and
looked
such.
at it to try to get an
That's all.
idea of what information we needed to get.
And refresh me, because that's October, correct? CIPC?
I thought it was January.
Was it
This-
January?
This raises.
Thank you.
it.
That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, in the past, it's been like September, October. I don't know, I haven't seen a call come out.
I haven't even heard of rumbling.
Okay.
Because Nate changed all the forms online to something completely different through Civic Optimize. And you would think that if it was October, Leanne and I would have had that form out already, but I haven't heard anything. So
They
the
might
minute
have
I
that
hear
after
something,
that
I will shoot you all an email, but I have not heard anything.
Last meeting, I raised my hand and volunteered for something. And
for a calendar.
not quite sure what it was.
Website, Trish,
To work with Maria, right?
Well, to work.
trying to find the CIPC calendar.
Yep, and that would be why.
But,
Hold on.
I have a but. I reclaimed my time. I thought we were going to go in the fall of '25 for an award next June with CPA funds, additional CPA funds.
We're going to hit all fronts, Tom.
And now I'm hearing, no, it's the 24 through 28 plan for the bigger capital improvement thing. So I see two kind of parallel paths, but they're on different time frames, different scopes, and I'm confused a little bit. Help.
So I could be wrong, and this may be outdated, I'm not sure. Take this with a grain
Well,
of
the
salt.
form isn't the problem. What are we
This
doing?
isn't the form. This is the CIPC calendar.
Calendar.
So this is a recommended CIPC calendar.
Yes.
So July is appoint committee members. October and November is to review ongoing projects. November is solicit department requests, capital plan updates. December is financial forecast by select board and town admin. And then in January is when they present a 5-year capital plan. to
Budget
town
summit is usually when it kicks off
admins.
the
You said
CIPC
October and
stuff, doesn't it?
November is for ongoing.
It says,
review.
review ongoing projects
I
and
watched
update
that.
annual inventory, occasionally prepare for special town meetings, some other things. I'm just telling you what's on their calendar.
It doesn't really give like, I mean, we're not the department, right?
Okay, so the CIPC Sorry, you triggered something in my brain.
It looks like the
CIPC
call.
is usually, the call for it is done at the budget summit that Nate and the select board and the town prepares and then puts out into the universe. That was supposed to be October 2nd during 48 Gardner Road open house and all of that, and we squashed it like a bug because we told him that was just
So we have a little bit
too
more
much.
time.
So we are pushing it back.
Okay.
The financial summit and all of that is being pushed back further into October. And Lord help me, please no special town meetings this year. We had like 8 last year and it's
Yeah.
too much.
So the application needs to be submitted after the budget summit in October?
Usually when they do the
Before,
budget summit,
prior
that's when
to.
they announce when the CIPC stuff is opening. This I'm remembering from last year, because it was like one of the first few things I did as an executive assistant. He wanted to do it October 2nd. We love and adore Nate, but that was just far too much for that one day, so we asked him to push it back.
So we have time, but this would be a very good use of time for the month of September for the working group of CIPC, whomever you would like to work with, to pull together. And I apologize because my brain is not functioning anymore. But in preparation of, because our next meeting would be October 2nd, so if we came a little bit more prepared with plans that we then hopefully could utilize our October trustee meeting to review and say, yes, let's submit this, let's go in this direction for any edits. And then we'd be ready for that call for plans. So my understanding in the past, when we have made calls for CIPC funds, which is different than capital CPA funds, the CIPC funds call, we submit the forms, and yes, they would present. Okay?
They prioritize,
Exactly.
you know.
And then it gets put into like the town meeting warrant and all of that, okay? But that's how we can get things and actions and items in.
So
And
what items would we be looking at?
Exactly.
So
And
I
that's
think
that
that's what, I think that is what the
prioritization.
subcommittee.
So
I think
part
there's
of
some
this
things
is,
already in there, right?
There are some
So we should
things-
look
Yeah,
at that.
there's a
In
plan,
where?
there's a trajectory.
There's a link on this agenda, I'm trying to open it. It says the
I think it's also-
2024-28 plan.
which lays out a 5-year
For the trustees?
No,
for the town.
For the town.
And so there's
For the
library
library.
items in there.
Oh,
However, it's not guaranteed, right? Like, just because it's in the plan does not mean they're going to fund it.
so there are library items in that 5-year plan?
Yes.
It's a forward-looking
Right.
Trying to load it here.
quasi-budgeting process
Yeah.
that flows to the actual annual
Next time
budget,
I'll
Yeah.
bring my work laptop.
a piece at a time.
Kind of like a wish list.
So we would have to pull something out of there and put it on our, that form?
So this is
Yeah,
where it
good.
gets very confusing, because they have this thing listed, right? They have like 4 or 5 items for the library listed in the capital improvement plan. But then I've been told that every year, if you want that item to stay on the plan, you need to resubmit, or you can change it and submit something different.
You can change the amount, what you're gonna do, and what time frame you're gonna do it in.
But regardless, it's not going to be guaranteed.
Okay.
Like,
I'll
because
make
like, for
sure you get
example, the
this link,
boiler
Mary.
was on the capital improvement plan for years,
Yeah.
and it kept getting pushed, and then the
Kaboom.
boiler
So
went.
did you have to resubmit the boiler every year? So that it would stay on there?
It's,
I believe
that's why I
that's-
don't
think
it's,
that's
it's,
true.
it's a very confusing process. So I think you do have to kind of resubmit that,
You do, or it drops off.
or if it drops off.
But some things showed up and we didn't even know they were on there.
So there were,
And it's their prioritization.
You know, because they know we need the boiler, so they put it on there, but it
Oh.
didn't
But I
come
thought we
through.
paid for the boiler a different way,
well, we paid for the boiler.
We did.
The
so
library
it
paid
didn't
for
even
it.
enter
So
that
it didn't enter.
process.
And then also last year, so it's really confusing. So like last year we put in for, I think, $500,000 for like an elevator, right? And then it got prioritized under grants and not town funds. If you look at it, there, at one point it said like elevator and it was just like grant funding. So pretty much there was a note saying we would
Forget
have to,
about
we would
it.
have to write
Yeah.
the grant. And so I think, and Tricia, you probably know best, but the way I understood it is like this plan that is being developed is kind of like a roadmap of financial priorities
Okay,
for the town.
yeah.
That may be done through either town funding or through outside funding through grants.
But if we take from the existing 5-year plan, the ones that are earmarked for library and just say, hey, a reminder of this, please keep in mind the following, and just reutilize the form to say reminder on these items.
Or if there's something you want to prioritize, new.
Which,
So, for example, 3 years ago, we got $6,000, and that money, we were able to hire Wendy Frontiero to come in and do these 2 historical assessments of the building. So town actually gave us the money. They got approved at a town meeting, and they gave us the money to do it.
to be able to know, so as we do the construction, we're not undoing the historical nature.
Yeah. And then in past years, there's like funding that we put in for like brick pointing, which we still have money to spend from it, but that came out of CIPC. They had funded, they had prioritized it, it went through the town meeting, and the voters approved the funding for that.
And then a great example is CIPC last year, the brush mower went on there.
Yes.
The truck, the fire truck, all of that. And instead of CIPC funds, they decided to do a debt exclusion instead at town meeting. So things like that do happen, they be pulled off the game plan and then put forward to town meeting for either a debt exclusion or some kind of borrowing for the town to pay for that project. Or, and the same thing with CIPC funds is, you have to keep in mind the roads that are on there, that's chapter 90 funds. Those are funds that we couldn't use for the library, but it still goes into one big pot, so.
So if I had questions, I can contact anyone on the CIPC committee, or I have to go to a meeting?
No, you could call me.
Okay.
Come
I just
visit
sent you
me
the
in my
link
office.
to that plan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come, have you been up to 48 Gardner Road yet?
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, come visit.
And if you want to pull me in on it,
It's hard to come during the week.
yeah.
I'm watching 2 babies.
I have a back, no, I have a back
car
off.
seat. Kind of stuck. I used to be able to just throw them in the car and go, but I can't do that anymore.
It's tougher.
Tuesdays we're open till 6.
Except last Tuesday or
I know,
some
I
Tuesday.
came up to town to check the cultural council mailbox. And so,
It was the signing ceremony.
I know, there's no judgment there, it's just like,
Oh, yeah, it was, because you guys like closed right at 5.
We did close right at 5 because everybody worked so hard on it that we felt like the town employees should get to come and see all their hard work come to fruition.
That was just this Tuesday?
It was just this Tuesday, yeah.
This has been a long week.
It's been that Tuesday I worked 11 and a half hours for the town and I was like, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see people.
Yeah.
So we're not, to wrap this up, we're not looking for new things that we want to have done. We're just looking at what's on the list and trying to keep them on the list.
Right now, I would prioritize what is already on. I would
Okay.
take our focus and I would do that. It is an opportunity for us if and when we identify something. So taking into consideration the ADA report, however, especially with the sidewalk, which addressing, and we have very limited control with regards to parking and things like that from the report. So thank you very much, but
I
there's
don't think
very
we're
little.
unique that way in being
So,
a
yeah.
library.
So grain of salt with regards to that, and the sidewalks, right now, I could kind of like, hey, with that, we can kind of do that. If we wanted to try to do something to address with regards to the lift, exterior lift, that would be like on my radar of things that I would love to try to address. Taking from especially the ADA report, that was like I would love to try to address that. But I would focus right now on what we have and just say, squeaky wheel, this is what we have.
And right now, just to give you a heads up, there's 2 things right now on there for FY '25, which is over. There was $32,000 allocated for window replacements. And then for FY '26, there is $42,000 listed there for an architect assessment for the library.
Oh, fancy that.
And then we had
42,000.
Architect assessment?
Structural assessment, just what we were talking about for the.
or that, or, you know, to,
Well, if you
yeah.
can get it for
If we were-
3,000, then
Yeah.
you should.
But just.
Or to do plans maybe.
Again, the way that I had read that was for the lower level, and I mean, if it were a small residential house and not historical, I would anticipate that that 3,000 would cover like the entirety of like a house, so I'm like, I was a little on that with regards to that. If we were to dive into a structural assessment, like full building, it would be a lot more.
And so, yeah, and so that was listed under annual expenditures, and then there was a alternative funding source projects, and so for the library was the boiler replacement, and that was going to be funded through a Green Communities grant, but the boiler went before we got it.
And
So,
we don't have to squeaky wheel that.
Yeah, so that one's that's done. So there's only two things on there.
The
Windows.
elevator, right? Isn't there?
The elevator's not on there.
No, the elevator never went back on for some reason. If that is something that you would like magically to reappear, please let me
Well,
know.
maybe we should go with the exterior lift first, because the elevator is not just like, oh, you put in an elevator, there's like a lot more.
There's a lot that goes into that one.
A bit.
So maybe that would be a good
That would actually maybe be a
target
good one.
project.
So do you understand, Tom?
Not yet.
Okay.
Never come.
So,
I understand that to the level that it is, to the level of its content. How about the CPA thing for next June? What are we gonna do?
Well, that's not really coming up until January, right?
in the interest of it is 50 in that time frame, I'm going to
Well, we
table
need some
CPA.
ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assign brainstorm, but in the interest of time likewise, because it is 8:50 and I do want to push through. Is there anything further on the CIPC, keeping in mind the focus would be on the windows, architectural assessment, and if possible, add the exterior lift? Anything further on that? Hearing none. Scholarships group,
Who's on that committee?
Maria and Tom.
Working
the
group.
scholarship.
Working group.
It's me.
Scholarship?
Me and Chris. We will have an updated in October. Just to move things along.
Yep. Okay. And then,
I don't know, this is the first.
do we
one?
have
Yes.
a grant working
Okay.
group? And is there interest in a grant working group?
I don't
I mean,
think we have one.
And is anybody interested in
It's low.
such and saying, I'm jumping at it, or would we like to table that?
Weren't we hoping that the Friends would,
I think so.
I thought that was our
So,
hope.
We haven't got
so
to
that's
that
like
yet.
two items down
Yeah.
from this.
No,
So
he's asking if they would be the grant people.
potentially.
I would be interested in that, but I don't know if we, I don't think we have to decide tonight.
I'm saying, I'm hearing interest and I'm putting a name of Krista of just keeping in mind, it doesn't mean that you have any work, but it just says.
Well, Trish is
down
doing the
line.
bulk of the work right now.
Trish?
I'm not a trustee, so I don't know if I can be on the working group, but I'm more than
consult.
happy to consult, liaise, whatever is the correct word there.
But down the road and things like that, so you don't have to have a report, and just having the names doesn't mean that there's necessarily an update or anything like that.
Okay, so we could form a working group
And then
since you're already
report.
doing so much of the work.
Financial, I'm grouping our financial meeting, but financial trust grants, awards, etc.
You have to change this to 40,000.
Oh, that intended to
Okay.
be a K in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, a little bit more than $40, but 40,000 CPA grant for the lower level renovation. $40 might unlock the door.
No, it didn't even pay for the new lock
And
on the
why won't that
door.
fund our $3,000
Because we didn't include it in the proposal.
loss, not described?
Yeah, and that's part of it. Okay, so congratulations on that. Is there anything further to add from that? Anything with regards to, so again, I think I can cross this off, but the first floor rehab really does not need to be here because we have the lower level renovation.
The first floor rehab is different.
It's
Oh,
actually the main
financial.
floor.
So
It's
this
the
is
main
where I'm
floor.
like, okay.
It's like
I'm like,
this light, and then I think it is some stuff in the back, and then it's windows.
Thank you.
So it's a,
So it's like still
it's the
on
main
hold.
floor, yeah.
okay. And we still don't have anybody, but we do have funds for pointing, for repair. Okay, so in the back of our mind. Anything that is missing from that to keep in our minds. Friends of the Library update.
Hello. So my first question is, do we have a donation account?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's where the money goes for the road race?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you already have a fundraising capability that the town can't touch that money, right? That's
Correct.
So
That's
you
not
don't-
true. The town can touch it. It is not an isolated, out-of-town account.
Okay, I was talking to the Council on Aging the other day, and she was saying if you have a donation account, that's yours and the town can't.
So the
Touch it?
Council on Aging, the Golden Agers, and the Friends of the Senior Center, they all have accounts separate from the town. They have them in a separate bank. They do have a donation account that is separate from the town. Especially their Friends group does have.
Well, I'm not talking about their friends. They have a donation account.
They do, and they do. So they have a donation account with the town, much like the library,
Okay,
and then they have a donation account.
okay.
Do you catch my drift?
Separate from the,
Separate
Okay.
from the town.
Because they have a 501c.
Because they have a 501c3.
Yeah, that's
so
not what I
it's-
was talking about. I was just
no,
talking
no.
about.
So like if Claudia gets a check for a donation, it can either go into the town donation account, or because they have a 501c3, the Council on Aging is on top, and then the 501c3 is on the bottom. So they have two different donation
Well,
accounts.
she was telling me that the donation account with the town is supposed to be just for them and not for the town. I'm just trying to clarify that because you're putting your road race money in there, right? And does the town take it?
But,
the town can
but
take it.
Okay,
between
For-
what could and
For instance, the way I understand it, and we ought to talk, not to the other parties, but we ought to talk to the town treasurer. Say someone gives the library $100,000 on race day, and we put it into the town race fund, which is called the donation account.
yes.
A couple of years go by, the town administrator would say, what's your plan to use that money? If you don't have any plan to use it, and you're
Elevate.
not allocated it in some way, he can say, and take it.
Okay. All right.
This is much different than
So I
a
looked.
out-of-town account. in
I
some
looked
kind.
into how to organize a Friends of 501c3, and you have to establish as an entity, you have to be organized as a corporation or an LLC or something, and you need a lawyer to file those papers with the Secretary of State. Then you also have to file as a public charity with the Attorney General's office. So you have to file a form, I think it's online now. So I looked at the Attorney General's office website and I pulled up Friends of Hubbardston Senior Center, and their documents are in there, but they only took a picture of like the first page. They don't have PDF forms. They have pictures, TIFF files. If you go to
Probably
the...
old.
No, it's new.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you saying that's the,
So I looked at it for an example to see what we would have to do. So when I did talk to Sue Brady the other day about their friends, she goes, you also have to consider it's hard to get volunteers, it's hard to get help. So I called 3 different lawyers to just get an estimate of how much it would cost to set it up, and nobody answers their phones these days. You know, if you're looking for new business, you should always answer your phone. So I left messages and I got an email back yesterday, so I have a 1 o'clock phone call with the, what are they? The Liz Reinhardt law firm in Worcester. So out of 3, I got 1 reply.
It could be a little bit, I mean, it's been, I can measure in decades now, unfortunately. But I formed a 501c decades ago, and I was part of others. It is paperwork, but honestly, it's not that cumbersome. So honestly,
Right,
like,
right.
I think the
You
CIPC.
do have to file a tax return every year.
And it is like 5 minutes.
You need
I can
somebody to
tell
be
you-
the point person.
So again, if
Yes.
you're under $20,000, it's just an assessment. So the
Right.
key things that you have to have is you have to have a legal mailing physical address that will be a point of contact.
Yes.
that can be on that paperwork and that is committed to being on that paperwork. And yes, there's a thing with regards to volunteers. There's a lot of interest behind the Friends, but getting that point person that would be willing to be on the paperwork is key. The cost for starting, I cannot speak with regards to lawyer fees, and I highly recommend paying the lawyer fees, which could be, I'm estimating, in the thousands. But the state paperwork for the 501(c) should not be more than $500. It's very minimal, and usually that was even with legal representation. So going back to where mine was, literally, it was a legal, yes, I'm here representing, and yes, there. And there you go, a lot of money for one day.
You have to decide too if you're going to be
Does it have to be a physical address, or can you rent the post office box?
The last I knew, it really should be a physical address.
they want to know where to find you.
Yes.
Maybe.
But that literally can change.
And you have to decide
from
what
the-
kind of entity you want to be,
Correct.
corporation,
And-
LLC,
Correct.
unincorporated association, or a trust.
An
So I
LLC
think-
is very easy to form. And my last contact with this was, it was $800 to $1,000 to do the 501c3 paperwork to the Secretary of State, not to the Attorney General. I don't know
You have to
that.
do both.
Right, the Attorney General is filing as a public charity.
I know, I just don't know the cost.
And,
Right.
and the taxes, provided that we do not go and exceed, and even, it's not even if you exceed, but if it's under like 50,000, it's literally a click of, I attest that I did not raise more than 50,000 or so. Once you get over that, it's simply, what are your income, what are your expenses, of which anybody should be keeping track of. And even if you attest, you're supposed to have those financial records just in case, because they'll come, or in the instance that they would come. But it's just a quick, you're under the radar, that's nothing, you're a very small entity versus, we just want to know that you're not filtering money.
I think it sounds promising if you have this 1 o'clock meeting tomorrow
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk to
So
them.
I can get
And so
back
we
to
can
you
get
all
some more
with some
information.
prices.
And so, we do have 2 people who are willing to be like president and the treasurer, which are the 2 kind of officers you have to hold. That's Whitney and Donna. It's about Whitney Feinberg. So we do have 2 people who are willing to kind of take on that role, right? And then there is a group of people who are interested in being friends who just don't want to have to do the paperwork.
Be the point person.
Yeah.
So I think where we're just all getting caught is we just need to be able to get an attorney just to do this for us. I
Yes.
think like there was talk
Yeah.
we should do it on our own. We've been trying to do this for 8 months
No,
now, and
don't do
then
that.
they've been trying to do it like 10 years ago. They spent 3 years trying to do it.
So there never was a Friends before, because
Not
that was
an
one of the
official one.
questions on the form.
Not an official one. There was
Okay.
like an EIN number for like a group. So there is a whole Friends of the Library binder back there. So they did have like a charter and they had some members and they did have a EIN number, but they were never able to get the full 501c3 status.
Okay.
So, and if you go and you look in the records for them, there's no record for them through the IRS, through the Massachusetts Secretary of
Well,
State.
there is the EIN number, those never go away.
So,
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the
You have to
extent.
write and ask them to.
But that's the
to get rid of
extent.
it.
So, yes, we could, you can take a look at
Okay.
that and you can take a look at the
Alright.
EIN.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And then there, Donna found a group, of- they have a North Central Friends of the Library Consortium. And so they're having a meeting on September 29th at 6 PM. So I think Donna is going, I told her I could go too, so.
Haywood Library has a Friends, and they, when I left the door the other day, they had a big sign up that if you want to use their passes at the different places, you have to become a member of the Friends. And I thought,
Interesting.
I'm like, I don't think that sounds right.
Yeah.
You should be able to use those.
Well, their friends group is very large and has a lot of influence at the library, so they get to dictate that if we're buying the passes.
Oh, they buy them.
Not only
That's-
that, it's a private library.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not a,
Haywood? No, that's a public library. Gardner?
bet you $50.
It's, okay. All right.
So, yay.
That
Best
sounds
of luck
really
with your
promising,
meeting,
both of
and may
those
it go
things.
really well,
Yeah.
and may this be a responsive lawyer.
Yes.
Because if they are responsive,
I
Yeah,
know,
then
it's
just
just
do it.
funny, you call and they don't even take your
So,
phone calls.
honestly,
But
if they are responsive,
it's a whole new
Yay.
world we're living in.
And I guess, like, so is this something where we could say, if we get an idea of cost to do it, can we
again,
just go ahead and do it?
trustees,
Yeah.
let's throw out a number of like $4,000, 501(c) forms included, but lawyer fees, meeting fees, if there are any other associated being the cap. Would you guys be comfortable with that being spent?
I'd be surprised that it's over 2.
I would too, but just in case. And Laura,
Everything's
please don't be
different today.
listening to the recording.
I would make a motion for that.
You know, second.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed?
Where's that money come from?
Donation account? Can I amend
Or can we
that?
do a trustee? Can we do a trustee?
Yeah, what's the separation
Trust.
between trustees and friends? Is there a separation?
Like, we can't be the president or the treasurer.
Okay.
We're just trying to
Get it going.
get them going.
Okay.
So,
So motion made to approve up to $4,000 to, for the legal work made by Connie, second by Chris.
So, assist me again with regards to remembering, because I know one trust is like beautification. We have the Buffum.
Buffum is for books. Fairman is for town center beautification. Clark was undesignated, if I recall, and we were never able to locate paperwork on Church or Freetown, but we ended up using the Freetown.
We did. Thank goodness.
For the boiler. I believe it was Freetown that we used, and I don't know about Church. I
Choose
haven't been
Clark.
able-
I,
Seems appropriate.
the other thing, so that has 2,290, so I would be looking at Church as well, in a combination thereof,
Clark and
Church and
Church.
Clark.
and thanking them very much,
Should be someone's last name.
Yeah.
very, very much.
So
We just
each of
don't
those
know
accounts has a
what-
designation of use,
Some of them do.
Some undesignated.
and the library trustees don't have to have a plan for using those? Like rainy
Loosely,
day?
so beautification would need,
Oh,
like, allocate for that,
Plans
things
and
like that,
things.
but yeah.
But, you know, the town, previous town administrator did come to us and say, you guys have a lot of money in your trust funds, which is good because we're gonna be spending it now, but, you know, we do, so having a
And do
plan
so
to use it is
responsibly.
good.
The advantage,
town
again,
can't
going
take
back to
that.
the 503C, is when we do events, such as the road race and things like that, we have amazing, amazing donations compared to other road races. But that being said, it would open up the Friends of the Library to use it as a fundraiser and get matches from larger corporations, et cetera, that say you're a 501(c), I'm handing you this, I'm handing you
So like my
that.
husband's company, Takeda, if I had a 501c3, they match whatever donations, like when my son runs the road race, he usually raises
What, $500?
$500. Takeda would match that 100%. So that'd be $1,000 that he would get. Same thing with Boeing. My cousin's works for them, and they said if you have a 501c3, all the funds that if I raised for summer reading this past year, they would have matched. But because we don't have a 501c3, the other thing too is a lot of grants that I would love to apply for, I can't apply for because I'm not a 501c3. So they could also go after grants that, as just the library, we cannot.
Okay.
Congrats, good luck with the meeting. May
Thank
they be
you.
responsible.
Thank you.
and let me know if you need anything,
Okay.
you know, or any follow-up on that, so.
Thank you.
Are there additional items not aware of?
Adjournment.
Adjournment. Quick question, personal eval, Chris, are we good? Did it happen?
No.
Do we need to work on it? Okay, so outside of this,
I'm sorry.
how are you on self-eval, and let's work on that.
Yes.
So outside of this, let's follow up.
Yes.
And are we secure downstairs? Those were we're secure with the new.
If you guys want to take a field trip, I did a lot of work down there today.
And I don't, I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So I did more work down there today.
You
I
went to Applebee's.
got stuff cleaned out.
will wait.
Travis and I came up with a plan to get most of the filing cabinets out. We haven't had any more issues.
Is the door secure downstairs?
Door is not secure. We
Door's
do
not
have a doorknob.
Okay.
I just have to get it
And
installed.
do we need assistance with that?
I think I can wing it. I gotta steal my husband's.
Let me know if you
cordless
need
drill.
assistance, and yeah. So, any other further items?
So the director evaluation will be completed in September?
I'll have it done next week.
I'm
And
like,
I'll
what
get it.
month is this?
This is September.
This is September. I'm sorry, guys, I don't
And
function
Chris
very
will
well.
follow up on securing the downstairs. I don't even know if we should,
No. So
I want to advertise.
I'm going to call to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, yes.
Motion made by,
Connie?
Seconded by Tom.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Woo-hoo.